Hello everybody, and welcome to My Hero Academia Season 4 Episode 4 Anime Review. Didn't have an episode last week. This episode came out early, I think, for some reason. Or at least I thought it was early. Maybe it's not, who knows. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode because you had like conflicting points of view from the heroes. You had the villain. I mean, he just casually blew a guy up. Like, not with an explosion, just with his hand. How do you even do that? I have no idea. I enjoyed this episode quite a lot. Maybe it is just because we had a week off and I was building up the hype more. But I very much enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a good one, despite the fact there wasn't any like action. There was like no fight scenes or nothing. But it was character driven. It was good, and I like that. So yeah. But anyway, let's crack on with the episode in chronological sense. See what happened and everything. I'm really excited to see where we go from here. Let's do this thing. So the episode opens off where we left off in the post-credit scene from last week's episode. Deku and Mirio are doing some patrol. They learn each other's hero names. Good stuff. Deku wondering what on earth happened between Night Eye and All Might. I'm flubbing a lot of words today, which is a good sign, you know. But yeah, then a small child runs into him. Right, this is where we pick up from last week. That small child is called Eri, and she has a horn on her head and bandages, and she looks bloody terrified. Yeah, she's shaking in her boots. Overhaul shows up. He's like, "That's my daughter," and I'm like, "That's not your daughter. You look nothing alike. I've seen anime before. If your hair and your eyes don't match, you're not related. That's just how this works." So yeah, I don't believe him for a second. Mirio's basically doing all the work here because Deku is shaken from seeing Overhaul so early, I guess. He covers his head with his hood and he's like doing all the talking and everything for him. You can tell he's the more experienced and not socially awkward person. You can tell that. Eri is gripping onto Deku for dear life, and Deku's like, "Well, we should." Like, Mirio's like, "Let's go, Deku," and he's all like, "Well, she's terrified and everything." Deku's like, "Excuse me, she's injured. How did this happen?" Basically, and Mirio's like, "Idiot, he's going to get suspicious." Whereas Deku is thinking, he'll be more suspicious if we don't ask any questions, because why wouldn't a hero ask questions? That's just... I mean, to be fair, with that argument, I'm on Deku's side. It's way more suspicious if you don't ask anything. It makes you look like a bad hero. Like, not... Like, oh, there's a kid literally covered in bandages and shaking in fear. Nah, it's probably fine, you know? That's... I mean, I think Deku had the right idea there. I mean, then, They basically, this whole, it comes back into play a bit later on as well. They've got completely different ideas of what they should be doing. And I think it's the reason All Might pick Deku over Mirio, why Deku is better, because he's like, all right, we got to think of a way to make sure it's safe for her to save her. Whereas Mirio is all like, here's what we've been told to do by Night Eye. Here's our orders. We should follow them to a T. Whereas Deku is actually concerned about a person's well-being. So that's why I think he's better. Yeah. That's what I think the underlying implication is. Maybe not. Who knows? Deku asks what's happening to Eri, and then they follow him into an alley, which is, you know, beyond suspect. But they're both willing and ready to go. Let's go into this dark alley where no one will find our corpses when we die, you know. But yeah, they're just talking. What's his name? Overhaul like starts playing with his glove. Eri sees him playing with his glove and just runs back to him immediately. So my thinking is that his hands are something to do with his power, and because he was playing with his glove, Eri saw that and was like, "Oh no, he's gonna kill these two nice boys. I'm gonna run back over there to save them, so that they don't die." That's what I think was going on there. But then them two leave, and Mirio and Deku are like, "Well, that happened. That was a thing. We gotta go back to work now." Well, it's not quite like that, but you get what I'm saying. Really enjoyed this first part. It was like tense. I didn't think they'd have a proper confrontation because it's early days and all that. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I liked that Deku and Mirio had different like what they should do, different ideas of what they should do. I thought that was good, and it comes into play a bit later on as well. So. I mean, we'll just keep on moving ahead and all that. Bubble Girl and Night Eye, we're with them now. They get a phone call from Mirio who basically says, "Hey, we met the dude." Overhaul takes Eri back into his house. This section's quite short. takes her back to his house, and the guy that let her escape just gets, as I said, he gets his exploded. He gets his insides turned out. There's just blood splatter. You know, Eri saw that. Eri's probably seen some poo. You know, so I assume that's not the first time she's seen a man explode. She's what, 10 maybe? Don't want to. No child should see a man explode. That's not a cool thing to do. Then we go back to Night Eye and that. Night Eye basically explains why he's a dangerous dude because Deku was an idiot and was like, didn't really feel that dangerous though. I'm like, Deku, what? You were in very clear danger. You went down a dark alley. You should never go down a dark alley unless you live there. Ah, silly Deku. Yeah. Then Night Eye basically tells him, hey, you can't save her immediately because then you're just going to get in trouble. Because Deku's like, we got to go save her, like a hero. And a reckless idiot hero, but a hero nonetheless. Night Eye's like, we should cooperate, get a plan and a strategy, and then we'll go save her. Which, again, it's not exactly a wrong opinion, you know. Deku's thinking more like, who knows what she's going to go through in that time while we're preparing. But whereas Night Eye is like, if we do it this way, we've got a better chance of success of saving her. So like, it's like a percentage game and all that. It's like you've got to balance how much she can take with how long it'll take to prepare, or something. I'm really turning this into a maths lesson right now. 55, it's 110. I don't know. Yeah, Overhaul puts Eri back in a dark room. There's like a chair, and he says like, "You're the crux of my plan." So he's got a plan. That's a thing. So I assume Eri's got some quirk that's important to his plan. Don't know what that is though. I don't think we've seen any like trace of it yet. Maybe we have, and I just haven't been paying attention. But yeah. And then they get a phone call from Shigaraki, who has an answer to their, request, demand. The thing the other day where he blew up that dude. Shigaraki has an answer to his question. This arc's, it's looking good so far. It's pretty exciting, I'm going to be honest. Second half of the episode focuses on, well, for the most part, it's just Deku and All Might, but we start off, well, not with All Might, we start in the classroom. Bakugo and Todoroki are bruised and battered and beaten because their like makeup exams are really hard or whatever. Don't fail your first exams, kiddos, you know, it's your own fault. Deku's still worrying about Eri and he can't focus in class and everything because it's occupied his brain. He's like, well, this can't stay the same. I need to, not just Eri, everything else surrounding it as well, but, you know, it's weighing on him like a ton of bricks, as they say. He goes to go see All Might, who's now exercising. He was going for a jog every day, so All Might staying in relatively good shape. You know, can't be mad about that. Goes to see him, basically asks him, hey, Mirio and One for All, what's up about that? You know, you didn't tell me. I feel betrayed. Tell me what's up. All Might, we get a whole story now with All Might. So basically, after All Might's injury against One for All, him and Night Eye split up because they were valued different things. All Might wanted to keep doing the hero thing to protect more people, while he looked for a new symbol of peace in the meantime. Whereas Night Eye was like, you should retire. It's literally the same conversation as earlier, where it was like, All Might wanted to keep doing it for the immediate future, so everyone would be happier. Whereas Night Eye was like, you retire, so there'll be a period of time where there's no big hero, but then eventually we'll find one. But this will keep you safer. The reason for that is because, basically, Night Eye used foresight on All Might and saw All Might's death. So when that happens, man, that's going to be a boof like that. If that happens, of course, because Night Eye was like, I want to change the future and all that, change this future I've seen. Want you to live, so you need to do things differently. So yeah, he's going to die. He didn't want to tell Deku he's going to die because he's sort of like, I know Deku has a dad who's never there because anime, but All Might is sort of like a father figure, isn't he? I mean, that is what he is. He's Dad Might, basically. But yeah, he thought the fight against All for One was the part where he was going to die, and so did most people, I think, watching or reading for the first time. Thought I didn't think All Might was going to win. I thought he was definitely going to lose, but he didn't. He won. But then Deku saved him. All the times and experiences they had together, he was like, that drove me forward to live and all that. That's like, that's nice. I like that a lot. He can't face Night Eye because Night Eye was right, and he can, like, you know, because he's played everything according to the script or whatever. So he's going to die in the next couple of years. So okay, that's a bit. Well, he said a couple of years, either this year or next year. Yeah, that's 2 years, couple of years. That works. Yeah. So All Might in a bit of trouble. Deku is like, hey, All Might, I'll twist fate with you. I won't let you die and all that. We'll work together. And then they fist bump, and it's great. Then Deku's like, hang on a minute, why don't we go see Night Eye right now to see if we've already changed the future? You might be living, you know. We don't know. And All Might's like, that's a bit convenient. I'm like, yeah, but it makes sense. I mean, I doubt Night Eye will do it. He'll be like, I don't want to see your death again, or something. But then they'll have to convince him, like, no, we're going to live. Maybe something like that. So, or maybe that's not going to happen. I don't know. That's hopefully All Might gets to live, because you know he's Dad Might. He's not really doing much anymore. He's jogging. You know, he's a busy man. Post credit scene. There is a post credit scene. I almost forgot. Basically, Shigaraki says they'll join Overhaul's little scheme under certain conditions. We don't hear what those conditions are, but he said, we'll join you if these conditions are met. I don't know what the conditions are. Probably like we get Deku. There's probably other things in there too. We retain the right to disagree and leave at any time or something. I think the League of Villains are going to end up causing the downfall of Overhaul's plan somehow. I don't know how. Like, they'll be working with them, but then they'll just decide, nah, I can't be bothered, and they'll just go home or something. What, like, somehow they're gonna not deliberately sabotage it to help the heroes, more like just to get Overhaul out of the way so that they're the top dogs. Maybe that's just what I'm thinking. I could be completely wrong. But anyway, that was the end of the episode. I really enjoyed it. As I said, they've raised some interesting points this episode. Like, now every time All Might is in any slight danger, we're going to be panicking, because it's like, oh god, is this the time? Is this the time he's going to die? Is this where it's going to happen? You know? But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens next. I'm excited to see this arc is good. Like, I feel like the second half, or maybe not half, but like, we're going to get to the actiony stuff where they like try and save Eri near the end, I imagine. But this whole first part is basically, it's a lot of psychological warfare. Like, what's the right thing to do? What's the correct thing to do? Because those are different things. Just because you're correct, that doesn't mean that you're right. References. But yeah, next episode looks like we're focusing on Kirishima, which is fine. But I mean, I didn't expect it, you know. But I guess he's going to end up getting involved. They said they might need to rely on other agencies, so I imagine they'll rely on like Kirishima's agency, and then the one where Uraraka and Asui are as well. I think that's probably what they're going to end up doing. But maybe not, who knows. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider subscribing and stuff for more reviews. There's a lot of anime, don't you know? Also, likes and comments. YouTube likes them, and I like them too, so thumbs up. I will see you next week for another episode of this, and bye guys.